This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress, shall surely be put to death. Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai. Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teach well and rule well, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akyam, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth that rich their own lives throughout the four corners of the earth. To the Akwath listening and learning, Shalom. This is Shema from the Pillars of Benjamin camp here in Toronto with another lesson. We'll get right into it. But we'll open with the scripture, Leviticus 20, verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, right? Adultery. Sex is marriage. To lie with a woman, she becomes your property. Right? So if a man lieth with a woman that belongs to a man, that's adultery. Right? And the woman and him is in this, the woman and the man is in this sin. What sin? Transgression of the law. Right? Transgress means to break. Even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress, shall surely be put to death. Right? And these are the law, statute, commandments given to Israelites. Israel being a people before a place. So-called indigenous, so-called Latino, so-called Negro. Right? Those that made a covenant by sacrifice. Israelites, no one else. These other nations, they're heathens. They're going to be wicked all day and every day. But the laws were given to Israelites. Right? So, before we go further, right, we're in Esau's kingdom. Right? And until Yahushua comes back, right? Until Yahushua comes back, the laws cannot be enforced because everything's off here. Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right? So until Yahushua comes back, let's read this. Acts 1 verse 6. And this is the disciples upon seeing Yahushua after his crucifixion. And it reads, when they therefore were come together, the disciples, they asked of him, asked Yahushua, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Right, so currently we're in Esau's kingdom. Judgment's not going forth. Right, so until Yahushua comes back, right, this goes to show you that our forefathers knew that when Yahushua comes back, the law, statute, commandments will be restored. Okay, right now we're just rehearsing the righteous acts. Right? Jeremiah 23, verse 5. And it reads, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, all caps, Yahweh, Lord, Yahweh. All caps is Yahweh. Lowercase, lower, capital L, lowercase O-R-D is Yahweh Shai. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, right? A seed of David. Who's the righteous branch? Yahweh Shai. And a king shall reign and prosper, Yahweh Shai, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth, right? So until Yahweh Shai comes back, we're going to continue to see wickedness, man. Right? Another scripture before we touch this news article. We're going to continue to see adultery. Okay? We're going to continue to see wicked harlots. Psalms 122, verse 5. For there are set thrones of judgment the thrones of the house of David, right? So in the kingdom, the house of David, the elect, Lord willing, we're of that number, will establish judgment under Yahweh Shai, right? Let's get another one. So we're not in our, all we can do is rehearse the righteous acts. We can't execute judgment in this world, man. Psalm 94 verse 15. But judgment shall return unto righteousness, right, in the kingdom, once the kingdom is restored under Yahweh Shai. And all the upright in heart, heart being mind, shall follow it. Right? Let's get another one. Right? So that's why the hopeful elect, sighing and crying, vexed with the filthy conversation of this world, man. Because we don't see judgment judgment being executed in righteousness. Habakkuk 1 verse 4, and it reads, therefore the law is slacked, right? And these are the times we're in, man. The law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth, right? Judgment ain't going forth. For the wicked doth compass. Compass means to be around, surround. About the righteous, right? Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth, right? We're not in that time, right? We're waiting on Yahweh Shai. Rugby star Michael Leacha nearly died after catching fiance performing sex act on teammate. This came out today, August 5th, 2022. A rugby star, New York Post. An Australian rugby star nearly died after losing 2.5 liters of blood when he slashed himself while punching a window after catching his fiancée performing a sex act on his teammate, a court has heard. Right? Didn't we just read Leviticus 20 verse 10? If a man lieth with a woman belonging to a woman. Matter of fact, let's read it again. Right? So this is an example of judgment, not righteous judgment, not going out. The law is not being enforced. And in the kingdom, the governing body under Yahweh Shai, then King David, then the governing body will enforce the law, because the heathens will still be around going off. It's only the Israelites going to be perfect, man. Leviticus 20 verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. Right? And this is why we wait the kingdom, man. Because if this was the kingdom, this wouldn't be going on. It would be a fear. These heathens would be in fear of doing these things. Michael Leisha, who played for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, was acquitted on Friday of domestic violence charges after his former fiancée, Cara Childerhouse, declined to testify again. Look at that. She declined to testify against him when she was in the wrong. But Leisha, 29, also detailed how the ugly incident forced him to change his life for the better after waking up to find Childerhouse in his backyard performing a sexual act on his former Bulldogs teammate Adam Elliott. Adultery, adulterer and adulteress. He flew into a rage, the court was told. In a state of shock, still affected by alcohol after drinking all afternoon and into the early morning, at his home, a torrent of expletives rained from his mouth in disbelief. He stormed inside, followed by Elliot, the adulterer, where he punched the glass window on his front door, cutting his arm badly as he pulled it from the frame, right? So he went into a rage. The adulteress, the husband, right? So he went into a rage. Let's get a scripture. Proverbs. Proverbs 6. Verse 34, and it reads, For jealousy is the rage of a man. Right? This man flew off into a rage. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Right? He punched a hole in the glass. The adulterer is lucky he didn't get X'd out. Right? With this jealous man in a rage. Right? It says here, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. The adulterer is lucky. The adulterer and the adulteress. It could have been a double homicide we're reading about. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts, right? You can't pay him off. You can't pay him off after seeing that, witnessing that with his own eyes. Let's read on. Concerned neighbors who reported hearing a man scream, "I'm going to effing kill her," called police in the aftermath. He was charged with domestic violence charges after Childerhouse accused him of assaulting her. You see that? She accused him of assaulting her. He caught her in the act. Let's get another scripture. What's that scripture in Proverbs? Wipeth her mouth, I doeth no wickedness. Her pressing charges is the equivalent of her wiping her mouth and saying, I doeth no wickedness. Proverbs 30 verse 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, right? That's what she did, man. She got caught in the act. She wiped her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness, and said, I done wrong. When the police came, she pressed charges. The incident left him a shattered man. I couldn't get the image of my fiance performing oral sex on my best friend out of my mind, Alicia told the court on Friday, right? And here's the adulterer, right? His best friend, right? His best friend, afternoon of drinking. Let's get another scripture, right? He took a nap and then he goes in the backyard. The husband's taking a nap and then he goes in the backyard with the wife, and then the husband wakes up and finds him in the backyard. Sirach 9, verse 9. Sit not at all with another man's wife, right? You're not supposed to sit down with a man's wife, man. Nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, right? They were drinking. Lest thine heart incline unto her, heart being mine, and so through thy desire thou fall into destruction, right? So through his desires, they ended up in the backyard, and then the husband woke up, right? He took the witness stand in the afternoon, and in testimony described by the judge as genuine and insightful, he detailed how it prompted him to seek counseling to take ownership for his actions. Look, he caught, he caught the woman, the harlot, and then he's seeking counsel. Let's get another scripture, man. Proverbs 6. Wicked adulterous woman, harlot. That's why Yahushua, we need Yahushua to come back and execute judgment upon this wicked place. Proverbs 6, verse 26. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, right? This man just said he's questioning his sanity, man. And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life, right? This man just said he's questioning his sanity, man. Right? Now in the kingdom, judgment. Second Esdras, Salakia, First Esdras 4. We're going to come back to that scripture. I want to read another paragraph or two. I'm glad the truth finally came out, right? You found out she's a harlot, man. I was very confident in the truth the whole time, Lisha told NCA Newswire outside court on Friday as he thanked his legal team, family, and new fiance. But I just want to put it all behind me now and move on with my life, and happy days are ahead. Right? Dirty, blood-clad harlot. Let's close out. Right? Had the man questioning his sanity. Let's close out. First Esdras 4, verse 27. Verse 26. Yeah, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, right? A woman will drive you mad, yo. The water Yabashim shy for this truth. And become servants for their sakes, right? They become servants, man. Simps. Out of their wits and simps for women. Many also have perished, right? Perished, died. Have erred and sinned for women, right? We're in a wicked, sinful kingdom, man. Right? We need Yahweh Shai to come back. Right? And this woman was a possession. Let's close out with that. Right? She was a possession. Sirach 36. She was a possession. She was a possession of her husband, man. Sex is marriage. Sirach 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife, and how do you get a wife? The act of sex, man. Sex is marriage. Beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Right? So that woman belonged to that man. Right? She was in the transgression, and he was in the and he was in the transgression. Shalom.